She just put used ink in her bottle that she's using on other people. Oh my God. What's up, guys? Welcome back. So I was just watching this video on my phone on how I do my stick and poke tattoos, and I was like, okay, I'm interested in this. I don't know what this is, but let's see how somebody professionally does a stick and poke, because I don't really know anybody who professionally does that. So I literally just got home from a doctor's appointment for my kids. So they're both downstairs, so you might hear them during the video, but I was watching, I got like 2 minutes into this and I was like, oh shit, this is not how you do this at all. Like, she's not a professional, and she is giving tips and tricks on how to safely stick and poke yourself, which, what is the point of that? I don't really understand stick and poke. I guess it's like the fun of it. Like it's a process of modding on yourself. So I'm like, okay, to each their own. Like, I don't like piercings. I like tattoos. So I have no piercings and over 50 hours of tattoos on myself. So, I mean, we all like our own stuff and like what we do to each other. So stick and poke, okay. I don't understand it. Some people like it, but she is giving tips on how to do this to yourself at home. And a bunch of red flags started popping up. And I was like, okay, let's make a video about this, of me reacting to a at-home tutorial of how to put ink in your skin. So we're going to go through this and, oh my gosh. Okay, let's go. Let's do this thing. I got so hyped about it. Like, just immediately jumped out of bed. I was about to watch HBO. I was about to finish Game of Thrones for the second time. And I'm like, oh, this has so many views on it, and I hope people aren't doing this to themselves. Oh my God.
Hi guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be talking about stick and
And she's so
tattoos.
cute. She's adorable. Like,
So I'm going to be showing you guys how I do mine. Just to be clear and upfront, tattooing is widely accepted as a safe practice, but there are obviously risks involved if you're modifying your body, especially if you're doing it at home without a doctor or a professional.
yes, there are risks like AIDS and infection and scarring or keloids. If you've never seen keloids from damaging and scarring your skin, you would never do this to yourself at home. You would have a professional do this.
Disclosure, I'm not a professional, but over a long period of time and over having done a lot of research, I have...
That's a big but. That's a big but. Because you doing research doesn't mean anything. You don't know if it's right or not. You don't know if you're getting the right research. Because in the tattooing community, we make people pay for that for a reason. There's a reason you have to treat it like a trade school and pay a crap ton of money so that you understand cross-contamination and proper products and how to handle your client. So her research does not make her credible at all, in my opinion.
Put together a system that works well for me. I've never had any problems with it. My video isn't intended as a step-by-step guide, so if you are planning on doing this...
Okay, so that's not bad work, but her doing it to other people, I don't know if she's charging for this. But if she is, I mean, if you're doing this without a license, that's illegal. I mean, she's not from America. Like, this isn't in the US, so I don't know what the laws are in other countries, but this is a big no-no. Big no-no, super liable. You get caught doing this to other people without, your certificates and licenses and your medical professional training, you're in big trouble.
At home, I will obviously tell you guys how to use certain products and give you some advice, but you need to figure out your own routine and do your own research.
Don't figure out your own routine, because your routine is wrong. You go by a certain routine, a system that all tattoo artists use.
And do a lot of research and make sure that you're doing it safely and properly. So
Don't know if you're doing it properly.
Health and safety things I can mention are, this is an obvious one, but never reuse needles. Never use a needle that's already been used.
I don't know why that even needs to be said. If you need that tip, if that was something new to you, like, this is my thing about giving advice over YouTube for anybody at any age to watch it, because you don't know what age your audience is. So you suggesting these tips and how you do things, oh my gosh.
This is extremely dangerous. This is how bloodborne diseases get passed on to other people. So I'd recommend not to do that. So even if you've sanitized your needles or your pots, I still really wouldn't recommend using them, because like, you can never be completely sure. So just, that's a big no. Another one is clean your hands and make sure every product that you are using that interacts with the process, make sure it is clean and sanitized. So wash like a towel, or what you can do is put cling film over.
Okay, she said a towel. You never... What do you mean by towel? Because anything with fibers in it, I mean, paper towels have small paper fibers in them. That's okay, because you're throwing it away. You can't reuse that. Reusing a towel, no. There's no reason to use a towel. I don't... Like, you can't do any type of tattooing on anything that isn't like a hard, easy to clean surface. Like, it cannot be wood, it cannot be your couch, it cannot be anything with fabric around it. Not even possible. So why is she even saying towel?
Over like a table, or if you don't do that, just make sure the table is clean. And you can wear gloves if you want. When I do it to other people, I tend to wear gloves, but when I'm doing it to myself, I just make sure my hands are clean.
Okay, so she's saying not to wear gloves because she's doing it on herself. So even though she's disinfecting the things around her, anytime she gets up to touch anything outside of her zone, goes back to her setup space. So even though she's... Okay, the cross-contamination process is you can get an infection from other bacteria being brought back into your setup. So her not wearing gloves at all and getting ink potentially in her fingernails, or transmitting it to different areas of just the room and the house that she's not completely sterilizing. You always wear gloves. But that's not even the half of cross-contamination, and just, oh my gosh.
Either is fine. Next, I would really
Either is not
strongly
fine.
advise buying either a whole kit or like the professional.
Okay, this was like a big red flag for me when I started watching this video like 5 minutes ago. Buying the proper kit is not possible, because the only way you can get the proper professional kit is if you have a tattoo license. You are not going to get anything that is professional grade off of Amazon. Amazon will send you expired needles, which you're putting oxidized metal into your skin, and that's a big no-no. So nothing you can buy without a license is proper.
Pieces like separately, instead of like getting like a sewing needle and using boiling water as a sterilizer, I would recommend getting like proper tattoo needles, proper disinfectant and alcohol wipes and all of that stuff, just because like the result will just be a lot better. And this type of thing should really be taken seriously.
If you were taking it seriously, you wouldn't be doing it. Because in the tattoo community, it's super disrespectful to do this. And that's why I don't tattoo anymore. I don't have a license. I don't have professional equipment. And yes, I could technically keep a client safe by not cross-contaminating while doing a tattoo and making some side cash, even though it's the pandemic and I would not do that. I could technically do those things without cross-contaminating and harming a client. The reason I don't do it is because it is extremely disrespectful to people who have worked their whole lives and stayed in the craft the right way. It completely just throws it in their face that I can do this way cheaper than you, not have to pay your booth rental prices, not have to pay your commission rates or anything like that. I'll just go do it at my house. It's completely disrespectful.
The tattoos are going to stay on your body forever. You want them to be like the best they can be, obviously, right? So I just think it's a lot better to just invest your time to get like the proper kit that you need. Make sure that you throw everything away after you use it as well. Like all needles, whatever's left, just throw it all away.
Just throw the whole idea away. That would be good. Okay, so her camera cut out. She says, make sure to do your research when it comes to ink. Make sure it's safe for skin. The more professional, the better the outcome. Don't buy the cheapest one on eBay. You don't know what good ink is, okay? And you can't get good ink off of eBay or Amazon. Put as much thought into your design as you can. After all, it will be on your body forever. You should let a professional artist do this because they understand the flow of the body and they've had training in art and are extremely talented tattoo artists that have gone to art school, have a degree in art, some form of art education outside of just I'm good at drawing. Like stick and poke, you can't really get too elaborate, I think. So, I mean, just like it takes so much longer. Like, what's the point? I don't get it. Put proper time into your research when doing this yourselves. When I wanted to start tattooing, that's what I did. I was like, let me get a feel for what I'm getting into. So we spent about $500 on a tattoo kit, did a ton of research online, and I need to do more of these videos because when I went through and checked these videos out, I was like, oh my God, why did I... Like, how would you know these aren't acceptable practices at all if you haven't had the proper training for them? And it's just so misguiding and harmful to the people who watch them and don't understand what is wrong with them. Okay. I'm not really sure what the baby wipes are for, unless it's for cleaning. The tattoo pen, you have to throw those away every time you use them, so hopefully that's new. The razor, you can buy a cheap-ass razor, so that's fine. Okay, I've never heard of dynamic ink before, and I don't know if that's a clean bottle. And green soap, I don't know why she just has a bottle of straight green soap. That's weird. Okay, that disinfectant is actually really good, but I don't use it. The thing that I literally stopped watching this while I was laying in bed, trying to get my Game of Thrones on, was the transfer gel. That's like discount deodorant. There's no way. Okay, so... Okay, how do I put this? You use the razor to get all the hair off of the skin, and you, in the process, sometimes cut somebody. You like exfoliate the skin with the razor, and you take off bits of the skin that gets in the razor, right? So you technically have an open surface on your canvas. So when you use the deodorant, she's not throwing away, like she's clearly not throwing away the deodorant every time she uses it because this is like a cheap setup, right? So it's not like she has 100 little packs of deodorant in her house. She's reusing that deodorant on different people, and that is the first part of contamination already. Okay, so when I used really high-grade professional needles, they didn't come in packs like that. A cup for water. I don't understand what the cup is for, but that's a reused cup. That's gross. Those pots look dirty to me. I might be wrong, but the pots, the ink cups she's talking about, those aren't right. I wouldn't. I don't know if she's reusing those or not either. I'm scared.
And And I usually just use hairpins to secure it in place so it doesn't slide.
That's how you do it at home, buddy. You just rig it up, I guess. I don't know. I've never seen a professional use bobby pins before, but
and trace over the top.
If it works, it works, I guess.
And yeah, just make sure that you press very hard so that there's enough pressure on the other side for it to get printed.
I've done a lot of hand-drawn stencils, and it's so hard to get that completely flat, lasting stencil compared to printing one out.
And then next you want to get your stencil gel. Kind of just looks like deodorant.
You can actually use deodorant. See, if it doesn't come out of a bottle, what stencil gel are you? That's deodorant, dog. What are you talking about? What is happening? Oh my God. Stencil gel can come out of a bottle. And I mean, there's other things you can use for stencils to stick on, like, I'm not going to name it, that are super cheap alternatives, but you're not going to get like a super high-end stencil gel off of Amazon or CVS in the hygienics area. Okay, that's not even how you put a stencil on, but maybe since it's so small, it doesn't really matter. But you can't, like, if you're gonna do that to yourself, how do you get a stretch on the tattoo? Because stretching the skin out to get the ink to go in without just like bouncing the skin around, I don't understand why. Because I know tattoo artists who have tattooed their own arms, and specifically I know people who tattoo themselves at home with tattoos on their arms because they want to be tatted out and they don't want to pay for tattoos. So there's no stretch. They look like shit. Her tattoo's tiny, so it might be fine, but looking at her other tattoo, I mean, I've seen worse, I guess. Her tattoo also looks like as old as mine for the lining, and mine is like 8 years old.
Now, I just need to check it in the mirror before and just double check if I'm happy with the placement. I feel like it might have to be a little bit closer to the sun and moon, but luckily you can reuse these. You can reuse them a couple times, so you don't have to keep doing the whole thing over.
It's not the same thing if you reuse it.
A little bit more central and a little bit more that way.
Scrub that skin. Yeah, irritate the fuck out of it. Let's do it.
If you're struggling to get the right placement, is take your pen and sort of line it up a little bit more. So after a lot of trying, I've sort of managed to draw it. It's pretty even. Obviously the lines aren't completely perfect, but when I'm actually filling them in, I'll be taking a lot of care. So it doesn't really matter if the original drawing is a tiny bit messy, as long as when you're actually doing it, you're just being very careful about.
It's nice to have a good stencil though, regardless. You know, there's little tweaks and stuff with a stencil after, like right before you start tattooing it, you know, you can change it along the way. But if this was a bigger tattoo and somebody was like, I'm going to stick and poke my whole leg and I'm going to go straight off of this advice, you would screw them up so bad.
What you're doing. So I'm going to show you guys how I set up. So here is my art desk, just in my room, just with a towel laid out, all of my products on the side, and a good light. You want to make sure that your hands are washed beforehand and the towel is clean and everything around you is clean. And you make sure to sanitize this area as well. I usually use this and some toilet paper, but I've already done this.
Toilet paper. Yeah, go ahead, buddy.
Okay. You don't need too much ink either, just a tiny.
Did she just wipe the needle on her towel or a paper towel? Because I don't want fibers, like towel fibers in my skin. That's,
It's perfect.
Okay, you're watching her just like knock the fuck out of that cup. And that does not, that looks like she's reused that because you can see ink down by the cap on it. So I think that's like her personal cup probably. But she's just knocking the needle at the bottom of it. So you're just doling out the needle before you even touch your skin.
So you just dip your needle in the ink and
yeah,
go ahead.
Bounce it around in there. It's all good.
So what you're trying to do is spread the skin as much as you can.
Yeah, that's like, why are you doing it on your arm? You're not...
Try and get the needle in this way. So it's going like against your skin. Do you know what I mean? So you're digging, like you're going backwards if you sort of know. Like you're putting in as you're going the opposite direction. This way it sort of tucks the ink underneath the skin and has a better result. And obviously I can't do this right now because my hand is full, but spreading, like usually like having the skin tight and stuff is the best.
This is a bad example because you're showing people how to do things to them that could seriously harm them, but you're not even showing them how to do stretching. So you're making it seem like the stretch isn't even important. It's extremely important. Like, okay. Plus you're like telling them to go at an angle where if they don't understand the pressure to use on that, it's either just going to hurt them with no result, or it's going to penetrate the deeper layers of your skin and it's going to cause scarring. So
it hurts or not, it does hurt a tiny bit, obviously, like it is going under your skin, but it's extremely bearable. I find it.
It's bearable. It's
It
just
really
a
doesn't
super
bother me,
slow
especially
process.
This is quite a good place. It's not too painful. And make sure you clean it regularly.
There's no ink. There's nothing in there. Whoa. What's the point? That took like probably 5 to 10 minutes for it, and there's nothing there. Okay. Okay, so she's just getting like her blood and plasma like all over that towel. She's just reusing the same little baby wipe. She's not putting anything on that skin to help that needle even glide easier in. So it's harder for her to even get the ink in because there's no like A&D or petroleum jelly or fuck man, even if she used Vaseline, I'd be like, okay, there's an attempt at understanding. But for somebody who said they did all this research, they're like, you're missing a vital part of the tattooing process. Like you're not putting any lube to help the needle go in the skin.
Don't look at the place that you're putting the needle now. Look at the place that you're gonna put the needle in next.
What does that even mean?
So it becomes more of a steady flow.
You can't get a steady flow. You're individually poking the spots and hopefully getting them in line. This is just like the slowest, most painful process I've ever seen in my life. Like the most useless process I could, like, Jesus Christ, man. That's a 10 out of 10. Yeah.
And there's less sort of like, your skin moves around a lot less if you can steady it.
Okay, at least she understands that, but why is she even doing this then? I'm kind of wondering how old she is and like if she's just doing this because her parents won't sign like a consent form for her to get a tattoo or something, because I don't... This, like...
So I'm just adding the finishing touches now, as in just if there's any area that isn't quite as perfect as the other one, Just going over that, making sure the lines are...
So is she not even going to do like her original tattoo design and she's just going with a square? Because this is not a good example for anybody to take any of her advice from, because she's not doing anything more intricate or, you know, she's not even showing any proper kind of techniques that would help somebody not screw themselves up. She's basically validating it's okay to not stretch a tattoo at all while you're getting it, or stick and poke, or whatever this is, because I don't understand why it's okay to put up stuff like this. Like, if it's illegal, why is it even on YouTube, you know? Why does YouTube let you do illegal activities on the internet? Okay, so she reused a stencil after her skin was already open. So she put a dirty stencil on top of an open wound. So if you did this and you got dust or dog hair, cat hair, dander, any microbes that are floating around in the air that are landing on a already wet stencil is going in an open tattoo now. And that is super gross.
Getting closer.
It looks so irritated.
I thought I might as well just go over the other stick and pokes.
Yeah, screw the whole shaving at this point. I don't really know the point of shaving because you don't have a needle that's going to be pulling all the hairs out. So, okay.
So that looks good.
No.
This is what this looks like so far. I think I might leave this one for...
I think she's putting blowouts in her skin with just a needle. That's so weird. Yeah, like you don't have any sort of guaranteed movement and depth when you do the needle yourself. So you're damaging your skin way more. So you're damaging your skin more. You're taking way longer, because her skin, like, she has a big old swelling redness like this big already. And my kids are fighting over Mario Kart right now. They'll be okay. But she's got all this redness for such a tiny part, because she's just constantly going over and hammering ink in with you just can't get that depth right because it's by hand. So you can see blowouts. Like, there's this fogginess up at the top of where she's putting that ink in her skin. And, you know, somebody, like, she's a seasoned stick and poke artist. So anybody who's not can actually really severely damage their skin, because if you go too far and it scars up, your ink's not going to stay there, and you can't put it back in through the scarring as well. So it's... Why? Oh.
A little bit later. So I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to put it. But yeah, I'm actually really happy with it. I think it looks really good. I went over this one as well.
Yeah, that's the other thing. All these freaking stick and pokes that she was using as like her portfolio in the beginning of the video, they already fell out. So what's the point of saying, oh, I'm credible in this way, these are the things that I've done? You're already doing touch-ups on them, okay?
And I'm gonna go over this. I might as well while I'm here.
Touch them all up. They need them.
Fingers actually hurt quite a lot. I wish it was darker. It's really annoying. Like, stick and pokes, they don't, like, especially on fingers, or to be honest, all tattoos, they don't just stay black. Like, they always fade.
I don't know if you can see this, but really yeah, dark, finger
defined,
like right around there, those don't hold up. Just saying.
Feel like you live a lot of your life.
I got dots on my fingers that's not gonna hold up.
Keep going over them all the time.
You can just see her skin tugging. It's just, oh, she's doing mine. Okay, cool.
You just want to moisturize it. I use cocoa butter, but you can use anything. You can use Vaseline.
She just said Vaseline, and I'm about to lose my goddamn mind. I want to see how she applies this to her tattoos, and that makes the biggest difference on how well they're going to heal up.
Bepanthen is a good one. That's what my tattoo artist told me to use. Yeah, you want to make sure that they don't scab over, because if they scab over, then obviously...
Okay, so she has a big tub of like cocoa butter that she's putting on her tattoos. Since she didn't wear gloves and she has ink on her goddamn thumb, you know she's reapplying in that tub. That's all contaminated. She didn't put on gloves when she was handling the last process. So anything she does on somebody else, they have her plasma and her blood in their stick and pokes. So hopefully, because I don't know how old this video is, hopefully she hasn't actually given somebody a bloodborne pathogen and done some life-altering damage to somebody, because that's so freaking gross.
The scab can fall off and stuff, and if it does, it will take the ink with it. So you just want to keep it as moisturized as possible. Do this twice a day for 2 weeks, roughly. The healing process isn't that long. They will be pretty much completely healed in about 2 weeks. And don't itch them. Final thing.
What did I just see? Whoa!
2 weeks. And don't itch them. Final thing.
She just put the ink back in the bottle. Oh my god. Dude. She just put used ink in her bottle that she's using on other people. Oh my god.
So it's the next day, and
did you wash your hands? She just said it's the next day. Did you do your laundry? Because that same towel is still there.
I'm just preparing to finish off the rest of my tattoo.
I'm so stressed out now, dude. It's not even funny. Like, she put her reused ink back in her dirty cap. Hold on. I want to see if she at least washed that out. Because it's so fast. I didn't catch that. That's dirty. She didn't even wash that, dude. Oh, that's so gross. Dude, I'm so bummed people do this to themselves. Like... she's so cute too. It's like if she got a tattoo apprenticeship and got in the industry and like learned to have respect for it, and she's got decent views on her channel, she could do so much better. It's just like, why are you just going out of your way to give detrimental advice to a younger audience? Because older people aren't gonna watch this. We know better, you know? Anybody under 18 and is like, my mom won't let me get a tattoo, they're watching this video. That's so disappointing, man. Yay. Okay, so I can already tell about at least a third of this tattoo is gonna fall out. I'm not even gonna watch the rest of this. Honestly, let's see how many people have watched this, because that's so... 131,000 people have seen this video. So obviously there's a market for you guys to go out and try and figure out how to tattoo at home. Or this is from like a year ago. So my kids are having such a good time playing. It's so cute. Yeah, all of her stuff is from Amazon. This video isn't indeed intended as a step-by-step guide, but you're showing the whole process of how to do it. So you already know that people are going to be watching this as a how-to. You already know that. You're advocating for people to perform minor surgery in their own homes without your extended research. So people are going to go fuck themselves up because of this video. And that's the lack of respect that just completely just bothers me when people do stuff like this. But she's super young. She doesn't know better. You know, I thought I knew better when I was 17, 18, getting into the tattoo industry. And, you know, I'm glad I had tattoo artists that pointed me in the right direction and said you're going to hurt your chances of doing this respectfully and making a living off of it. And this seems like she just does it as a hobby. So I'm not going to completely bash on her, but you know, she's not going to see this video, and it's kind of disappointing because somebody needs to tell her she's doing it wrong, you know? So it is what it is. I just hope a bunch of kids didn't like get serious infections from doing dumb shit like this. But I think that's it for my video. I think that's all I have. That's all. Like, I just had all this pent up aggression to put out into the world because I see stuff like this and I'm like, no. So I feel better. Maybe if somebody watches this and they had the idea to do something like this at home, maybe this is why you shouldn't, and you don't know what you're doing, and you're going to harm other people if you put it on the internet to show off how cool you think you are. Don't know. I'm not here to be a dick. I'm here to be honest because somebody needs to be honest about it. So that's it for today. I'm out. Bye.